Hey guys, if you was expecting a story yesterday, my apologies. That video went up before that because I want to do a skit. I just hope I don't get my butt kicked too bad for that skit. It was meant to be funny. That's all it was, meant to be funny. So what we're going to do is, it's your Saturday, and now we're going to do story time. That's right. I usually like to do story time on your Fridays, but today we're going to do it on a Saturday. That's right, I got a pretty good one for you. So, as you know, when I tell the story, I sometimes sit, and I sometimes walk back and forth on my deck, because I just can't stand still. When I do the videos, I can't sit still. I can't. But, got a good one for you. Has to do with biker gangs, or biker groups. Whichever you choose. Whatever you prefer. Okay, if you go back in my videos, my first documentary I did was about the paranormal, okay? And on the documentary, I mentioned the first apparition I possibly thought I seen, okay? I was in the middle of nowhere, and I was investigating an old pool that wasn't used, you know. Well, this basically kind of takes place there. That's right. This is back in 1983 and 1984. And back in the time where I would work all day and basically hang out with my friends all night long at White Castle parking lot. Yeah! Alright, let's get started. Way back then, a good buddy of mine came up to me and says, Mike, I heard of a house that Charles Manson possibly lived in. And I know where this house is. I don't know exactly where it is, but I was told it's up on a hill. And we have to find a path going up on the hill. The house has been burned down. Dang it, bug, leave me alone. The house has been burned down, but there's actually what's left of the burned down house, and there's an old pool, you know, about 100 yards in the back. But Charles Manson used to live here. So we got my car and we drove. It was about maybe a good 10 miles from the location we was at. We went up and down the road, up and down the road. Got out and walked, and finally we found a path. The path looked like it had been used. The path was about, I'd say a little bit bigger than a walking path. Definitely not big enough for a car. No. At one time, it was a part of a driveway, but, you know, over time, the vegetation grew up and stuff, but it had been used recently. We could tell. We didn't think anything of it, so we climbed the path. I say going up the path was pretty close. It was longer than a half a mile. It was not quite a mile, but pretty darn close to it. It was straight up a hill. And as my friend and I were walking up through there, we could see, we could sense how spooky it was, okay? It was just spooky. And finally we get up the top, and there's no lights up there, okay? It was only lit by the moonlight. And there's not many lights up there at all, just the moonlight, and we see the house. So we go exploring the house, and my friend swore to God he found in the basement, signed in wood, Charles Manson. I didn't see the signature, but he swore. So is it Charles Manson's house that he used to live in? I don't really know. But that's how the story went. So I basically went back and seen the pool, and we left from there and was like, whoa, this is cool. So we went back to White Castle parking lot where our friends were, told them what we seen, and so next thing you know, a bunch of us went back up there. Now, if you remember the documentary I did about the paranormal, I told you this part where we went up there and a bunch of us hung out at the pool, and I went to go get my cigarettes because I smoked at the time, and that's when I ran into that apparition. Well, basically, we left there that night, and my friend and I got an idea. We got a good idea. So there's these two girls that we was trying to basically date at the time. And they liked us and all, but they was playing hard to get. So we figured we'd take them on an adventure. We'd take them up there, show them this house, convince them this is the house Charles Manson lived in, and maybe spook them a little bit. We figured everything would be fine, right? Well, we thought we would have to talk these girls into it, but oh, hell no. They was right on board. It's like, let's do it. Let's all go up there. So we walked up the path. We get up there. We showed them the old house. Then we went back, showed them all the old pool, and they didn't get scared at all. Oh my God. As a matter of fact, if anything, I think my friend and I was more nervous than they were. They wasn't scared. Then we heard a sound. It almost sounded like thunder. Now, we was still in the wooded area, getting ready to approach the opening where the house was, and we thought we heard the sound of thunder, but as it got louder, we knew immediately what the sound was. It was a sound of motorcycles, not just one. We're talking probably close to about 50 or 60 of them. And they were all coming up, one after another. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Next thing you know, that whole area hummed of motorcycle sound. It was beautiful. And we wasn't sure. We knew they were bikers, but we wasn't sure if they were with any group or not or anything like that. We couldn't really see. But all we know was, oh my God, that's all we need to do. Me and my buddy with, well, soon to be girlfriends, at least we thought at the time, we'll walk out of there and the biker was like, what the hell are you doing here? We was afraid we'd get our butts whipped. To tell you the truth, we was afraid they would beat us up. So we didn't leave the wooded area, and we're like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? So my friend's like, as long as we be quiet, they're just up here to enjoy themselves, to party down a little bit. We could stay back here and maybe find another way down the trail. But if we can, we just, wait it out. They ain't gonna be here that long. They're just up here probably just having a good old party, which that's what they were doing. They was standing around, they built themselves a little campfire, and they was having a good old time. So we looked around, trying to find another way to the trail to get out of there. Just couldn't do it. It was unwalkable conditions. So we pretty much I'm guessing maybe 30, 40 feet back into the woods, away from the opening where they were at, and we're just sitting there. At this time, these girls are looking at us like, what the hell did you get us into? I must apologize 1,000 times to them. I said, look, you guys are going to be safe. And I even had a thought. I said, let's just go out there and say, hey guys, how you doing? We're just passing on by. But my friend convinced me, you do that, they're going to kick our butts. And I said, well, these girls would like to get home sometime tonight, so one of us has got to do it. And my friend's like, it ain't going to be me. So I was trying to prep myself up for this. I was trying to talk myself into it. And then the girl that I like came up to me and says, Mike, don't. Let it be. Eventually, it's going to quiet down and we just slip out because it's still very dark. So we waited another hour or two and actually had some good talks. Even though we was nervous and we was afraid, we still had a pretty good time. We was sitting there just carrying on a conversation. Then it got to the point, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. We've been up there about a total of 4 or 5 hours about this time. Some of the bikers are actually, some of them left, some of them did leave, and some of them just sitting around there real quietly having a conversation, and some of them were kind of like sleeping, at least we thought they were. So I said, now's the time. If we're ever going to get the hell out of here, now's the time. So we all got together and we're like, shh. If you got to break a branch when you step on it, try to do it softly. So we walk out to the edge of the wood line, and they're about maybe right now about as far away as my truck is from me, okay? That's about how close we are to the circle around the campfire. We slowly duck down and start walking towards the path real fast like this. Well, we made it to the path. We're like, oh, thank God, thank God. Now we got to make it down. This path is about almost a mile long. I know it's over a half a mile. And fear of if a biker comes back up the path or bikers go back down the path, because this path had nowhere on it for you to jump off to the side and hide. It's just the way the landscape was. So now we're trying to get down this path as fast as we could. I fell about 2 times. My friend fell once, and the girls just kept repeatedly fall. As a matter of fact, I took one of the girls, which is the one I liked, and I put her on my back and gave her a piggyback ride all the way down the hill. Finally, we make it down to the hill. We rush over to the car. We open the doors, get in the car, and we're like, time to take you home. Now, this time, the girls are worried, They're over 18, but still they lived at home with their parents, and they're like, what do we tell our parents? These two knuckleheads took us up and damn near got us killed, and blah, 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 and don't you two ever call us anymore, don't even talk to us. You're the worst excuse for guys we've ever been out with, ever. So we went ahead and drove the girls to their house, and they was actually staying the night together at one of the girls' house, and I was like, hey, if your parents are up, I would be more than glad to explain. And he basically slammed the door and told me to get the hell out of there. And never want to talk to me again. So my friend and I went back to White Castle parking lot, which, believe it or not, some of our friends were still there. Went back and told them the story. And that's it, guys. Yeah. The stupidest things we do. That was the one time I tried to impress a woman and it totally backfired. Now, the girl I did try to impress, I did speak to her a couple weeks later. We had a good laugh about it, and we figured if our imagination got away from us, we also figured, shoot, we probably could have walked out and nothing would have ever happened, you know? It was just our imagination, plus we kind of blamed it on my friend. He's the one who told us, no, you can be seriously hurt. No, I don't think any of that would have happened. All we had to do is walk out and say, hey, and they would have said, what the hell are you doing? We're just headed down, man. Everything cool? Yeah, get the hell out of here. You know, they wouldn't want no kids around. So, yeah. There's your story, guys. And like I said before, I was going to do the story yesterday, but I want to do the Nike thing. I didn't know about what was going on with Nike, believe it or not, until last night. And, or actually the night before last. And I came up with the idea that, shoot, I'm in the market of getting a new pair of shoes. I need them now. I just got to wait till I get a few extra bucks. And up until then, I was going to buy a pair of Nikes. And I was like, wait a minute here. I got an idea for a skit. Actually, I don't know if I want Nikes or another pair of shoes. See, there's another pair of shoes out there that's really good for walkers and runners. I get runner shoes, okay? They seem to work out better, and the Nikes do kill my feet. They truly do, but they hold up. So I thought I'd make a skit, and I'll be honest, I was a little nervous about that skit, folks. I was like, oh my God, there's so much controversy going on about these Nikes right now. And if I make this video, I might get my butt handed to me. But I said, shoot, it's a skit. People see the funny and the humor in it. And at the end, I was serious about it. If you got to burn the shoes, don't. Just donate them. There's lots of people out there that can use shoes, you know, and at least this way, you know, they're getting some use out of them. You know, it's helping somebody. It's definitely helping somebody. And no, donating them to me, I was only joking about that. No, I wouldn't wear somebody else's shoes anyway. Well, actually, yeah, I would. That's not true. I would. I definitely would. Because them things are expensive. You look at the price of Nikes? Oh, heck yeah. If I had a used pair of Nikes that had a lot of life in them, hell yeah, I'd just spray the suckers out and put my feet in them and start walking in them. At least they'd be broken. Okay, guys. It's a little hot today, but not as hot as yesterday. I'll go ahead and go inside, edit you all up. And yeah. You guys have a great weekend for what's left of it. And we will see you Monday morning. Come on, guys. Let's get out of here.